This is Utah Hustlers, the podcast that helps you build your business to $10,000 a month. My name is Skylar Beitendorp, and my mission is to help you achieve success, happiness, and freedom on your own terms. Today, we're talking with Jared Briggs on how networking can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars. You may have heard the quote, "Your network is your net worth," and it's very true. We're sharing some stories on not only how networking has made us a lot of money, but also the people in our circle money. Because if you do it right, you can essentially have your network sell your product or service for you, which means you make more money from networking. We're going over different ways you can network, how you can network effectively, and mistakes you can avoid when building your network. Who knows? Learning to network effectively and efficiently might just be the last key to hitting that $10,000 a month. All that and more coming up on this episode with Jared Briggs.
My name is Jared Briggs. I am a business owner. I own a life and health insurance agency. I started in March of 2017, 100% independent, do everything on my own, and it's good to be here. Going through elementary and high school and stuff, I was never a good student. I wanted to own my own business, have the ability to earn as much as I want, have as much freedom as I want, and live life on my own terms. I had no clue what that looked like. So right out of high school, I just started looking like, okay, what am I going to do? I don't want to go to college. So what am I going to do? And I just was like, I need to start learning. So I started studying business owners. I started studying what do they do? So I just started buying books and just really dove into the personal development side of stuff. And it just led to being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, and just all the passions, desires, and drives that I have.
Is My Life Financial the first business you started?
Yeah. Growing up, I had a cattle, grew up on a ranch. And so I had my own cow herd. And so you can kind of look at that as your own business, right? Like I operated my own cows and marketed them and sold them and did all those things with it. But outside of high school and really starting, all right, here's a brick and mortar type business. Yeah, My Life Financial is it.
So how long did it take from when you started it to making $10K a month?
I would say around year 4 is when I hit it. And the reason why it took me that long is because I did a lot of figuring out. I started out selling supplemental insurance, like Aflac, right? Started selling that kind of stuff. I was like, I don't like this. So then I got into Medicare, started selling Medicare. And that's when I really started growing and exploding into it. Then from there, started realizing there was a great market in the health insurance. So I'm like, look, I could sell Medicare and health insurance together. So then I started doing that. But then I was always interested in life insurance. So then I added that component to it too. So it took me a lot of learning and growing and hiring coaches and meeting somebody that was making 10, 20, 30K a month. What are you doing and how are you doing it? Why are you doing it that way? So those first couple of years was just a lot of developing myself. Once I started catching things started growing pretty quick.
Or did you hire coaches or just learn from them off of their podcasts or social media accounts? Or
all of it. I got to the point where I started hiring coaches. There was a fear factor in it, right? I was like, I can't spend money because I got to spend it on my business and da. And I just started seeing this repeating system in podcast books and everything that I was reading. All these people that are making lots of money, very successful businesses, they all were talking about their coach. Dang, I need to do the same thing. So I started hiring coaches, and that's when things really started to explode for me.
Yeah. Every big successful guy out there guy or girl talks about their coaches and how huge that was in growing their business.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people out there that are listening, they probably don't have the money to hire one of those big coaches.
Yeah.
They say your life is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around.
Exactly.
And so you can still spend time with those people through their podcasts, through their social media, and you can get the mindset and the coaching from there, even when you can't necessarily pay for it or don't have the time or money or whatever the excuse may be.
Yeah.
But there's still ways you can do that. And that sounds like that's exactly how you started.
100%. Yeah, because I realized really quickly when I first started my business, I'm like, if I want to get to 10, 20, 30, 40K a month, I'm like, the person that I am today isn't capable of doing that. There's a reason why I'm not doing that. So I got to figure out a way to develop myself and grow myself and new knowledge, information, mindset, beliefs. I got to change those things. Who do I have to become to make 10K a month? Even on the drive down here, I passed a truck that I really liked. And I asked myself a question. I'm like, who do I have to become to drive a truck like that every single day? So I just started asking those questions in the early development of my business. I'm like, look, do I like myself now? Yeah, but I want to get better. So who do I have to become to get to where I want to get to? And that led me to starting to purchase knowledge and information.
Yeah. And I like what you said there. It's the question you asked yourself wasn't, how do I make a lot of money? How do I make, $50,000 so I can buy that truck? How do I, make a quick buck? It's who do I have to become so I can be the kind of person that can make that much money you're focusing on the personal development.
Yeah.
Has networking been a big part of your success?
It's everything for me. When I first got in the business, everybody's like, dude, you got to buy leads. There was a company out of Texas, you could purchase, I want to say it was $490. I could purchase 1,000 leads. So what that means is they would have lists of people. Like data is so easy to come across. Like data is everywhere, right? And so they'd be like, hey, based on what you're looking for, because I'd be like, hey, I want somebody I can sell Medicare, life insurance, or health insurance, right? So I'd come to this company and be like, I want to target this type of people in this zip code with this much money, needing help with this specific thing. And they'd be like, all right, here it is. So they'd have lead cards. And you pay them, so I'd pay them $490, and they would mail those out to 1,000 homes. And the people that were interested would fill it out, name, phone number, it would have their address, whatever the questionnaire thing was. And then they would send it back to this company and they would upload it into a portal. It would come into my digital portal, and then I would print it. And then I would go either call the client or stop at their house, whatever. Well, let's say you can do that. And let's say you sell enough people to make $1,000, but I spent $490 initially, plus all the other stuff I had to do, the traveling and the phones and everything, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool. There's a lot of people making a lot of money in this industry doing that. But I'm like, this is like a slow process. It's like spend $490, make $1,000, spend $490, make $1,000, spend $490, make $1,000. And I just started to ask a question. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. Like I got burnt out with it. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Like this is getting old. Within a couple of years, I'm like, this ain't working. And so I started looking at, I'm like, all right, what could I do instead of this? And I just started challenging myself to look at new areas to gain clients. So I started spending time on the road. I'd literally hop in my car and go to businesses and go to all sorts of different type of organizations. And I realized, I'm like, there is a lot of people that are talking to my ideal client. Businesses, dental offices, nursing homes, caregiving place, hospice places, like a lot of these places that they're nurses or they're dentists or they're all these things, but yet they deal with insurance. They have questions about insurance. Their patients are asking them about insurance. They're like, I don't know. We don't do insurance, call an agent. They're like, well, I don't know something. That's why I asked. And so I literally just started focusing on building relationships with people and be like, look, this is what I do. I'd love to be a resource within your business to help solve that problem. And I've just focused on that for the last probably a good 4 years. I haven't bought a lead in years and years and years. Like my acquisition per client, it's essentially dang near $0 now, just because of the relationships that I've built. I've got, caregivers, people that go around to people that have special needs or whatever. And anytime they come across a new client or a person that needs help with their health insurance or their Medicare, they just call us. And they're like, hey, this person needs this plan. Like I've taught them all the plans now. So they'll call me and be like, they need this plan. Can you sign them up? I'm like, boom, here you go. I'm like, there's some days I'll get a call, 15 minutes, I just made $600. Boom, and I didn't spend $1. They called my office. And so I've started focusing 100% on those efforts. I'm like, building relationships is the most important thing, like building that trust. And the more that I focus on it, this week, I just landed a contract with a whole agency across the state of Wyoming that deals with thousands of my ideal clients. And I went and sat with a lady for 15 minutes, explained my business, what I do, how my contracts are, the problems that I solve. And she was like, great, we're going to start referring every single one of our clients to you. And we also want you to do the insurance for our business too. And I'm like, that took 15 minutes, So that's what I focused on. So I created a video on the way down here. I'm like, look, guys, this is why I focus on relationships, and just kind of talked about this whole thing is because it's been everything for me, like building those relationships and that trust with other people. If I meet with somebody that, has 100 clients that are my ideal clients, like that's a big win for me, right? And for them too. Like they love it.
Yeah, people have spent so much time already building up their clientele, already building up their network.
Yeah.
And so if you can come in, provide value, solve a problem for their client that they don't solve,
oh man,
they are going to want to work with you so they can, their clients can be even more served. But you have to be someone worth referring to.
Oh yeah.
You have to know your business. You have to be friendly. You have to follow up. You have to be reliable.
Yeah.
What are the steps to being someone who is worth referring?
I would ask the question, how do you build big biceps? It ain't going to happen in a day. It ain't going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. Like you got to do those reps. You got to go to the gym. You got to do those things, right? So when I first started focusing on the networking, I'd walk into businesses and I'd walk out and I'd be like a flipping idiot, because I was stumbling over myself and, but I was just like, there's something here. There's something with building this type of relationship And so I just continued to focus on it and develop that and just build that muscle and that confidence. I would walk into businesses. I had one of my cards and one of my office managers, and I would hand them a card and I'd just say, hey, my name is Jared Briggs. I own a health insurance and Medicare agency. We work with small businesses. We work with individuals. We can help any situation. If there's ever an opportunity to work with you guys, we'd love that opportunity. Hope you guys have a great day. And I'd give them the card. And if they asked me questions or started a conversation or it went somewhere, great. But if not, now they know who I am, what I do, the problems we solve. They have my contact information. Do you know how many calls I got the next day? Tons. Nothing sparked right then and there, but that confidence was built up to where I was just like, look, this is what I do. I wasn't asking it for anything right there. Like if you walk into a business or to somebody and instantly ask for something like in return, people are going to be like, well, who's this dude? Like, what are they doing? Right? All I did was like, this is what I do. If there's ever an opportunity, all I'm looking for is an opportunity. And if I can get that opportunity, we'd love that opportunity to work with you. You guys are taken care of and everything's good. Have a great day. And so just building that muscle and like building, like, what do you stand for? What is your message? What are your values? What are the problems you solve? What is it that you truly want to build and have? And I've just modeled my pitch in that form. And it's worked great for me.
For everyone listening that has a business, and there's a lot of people that are struggling to find clients and to start making that money, but a lot of people need to remember that if the entire market knew you did what you did, you'd have so many people reaching out to you.
It'd be wild, right?
There's so many people that need pressure washing, that need insurance, that need social media marketing done for them. There are so many people that need that right now and are looking for a good person to do that. They just need to know you exist.
Yep.
And that's what you're doing is you're going into these businesses and saying, hey, I exist. This is what I do. If you know of anybody, let me know.
Looking for an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I've literally had businesses that have called and they'd be like, hey, you stopped in a couple of years ago. We were good then, but our premium's gone through the roof. We had a 15% increase this year. We had it last year and the year before and the year before. Like we can't handle it anymore. Like, do you have another alternative? I'm like, glad you called, you know, because all I asked for was an opportunity.
So networking is a big part of business. What are the different types of ways that people network?
I would say the biggest thing nowadays, like social media, right? Everybody says, be on social media, be on social media. You got to be creating video. You got to be creating content. I agree. But this is like my perspective of it, right? If you and I were on a Zoom meeting, right? A lot of podcasts are done through Zoom or some other video thing, right? The conversation, the relationship is going to be way different than me coming here in person and doing this with you, right? Like I already feel like there's a great friendship that's already being established because of being here in person. I believe that's the same thing even in business, in every aspect of what we do. Like most everybody's trying to go towards media. Like I know agents that have never met a client in person and they're crushing it. They're doing great, but they're losing 30 to 40% clients per year. Like I would be amazed if we're at 10% because we spend so much time building personal relationships with each other and it's fun. Like we have raving fans. I have a guy we helped with health insurance come into our office. We helped him with health insurance. He was on it for 3 or 4 months. And then he actually got a job that offered him health insurance. And he's like, hey, I'm going to go that route because it's a little bit cheaper. And we're like, hey, we get it. Whatever's best for you, go for it. So we canceled the policy. He came into the office 2 weeks later. He brought me a bag of golf balls because we had a conversation about golf and $20. And he's like, look, I'm so grateful for your guys' help. I wanted to buy you guys a drink and here's some golf balls. He's like, I had a pile of them. And he's like, can I get 10 business cards? I want to hand them out and share what you guys do. And we're like, heck yeah, like that's awesome. And it's because we took some time and visited with him about golf and met with him in person and, bonded with him and solved problems for him. And so like when he walked out, I told the ladies in my office, I'm like, that's what we're going for right there. We want raving fans because of the relationship and the network that we did with. So that's what we focus on. We
can network with people on social media, on all these groups and Zoom calls, but the most effective is in person.
Do both, I would never just focus my business on social media only because if for some freaking reason, if all of a sudden social media got shut down for a month, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah, that's true.
So I love the relationship building side of it on both ends.
Okay. So do both. You got to be online and you got to do things in person.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of groups that I've seen online that meet up regularly and like go to lunch or, business groups where that's the purpose is to go and say, hey, here's what I do. Here's what you do. Let's see if we can, give business to each other.
I've been to a lot of those things. I love those things. I get a lot of clients from those things, right? So yeah, I really love those things, but we get a lot of feedback from meeting with people in person about like what we could do better, what's important to them, what's not important to them. Because, when you're knee to knee, the conversations are deeper. And so that feedback's important for our business too.
Feedback is what's going to make us better.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Okay. So we want to be online and we want to do in person. What are ways that we can connect with these groups online? Like there's people that have no group, nowhere to go. Where do they find these people to connect with?
Stick your neck out there. Ask. I mean, that would be the best advice I could give you. Like if you're looking to grow and expand and, join groups or get into networking or, whatever it is, create a post or a video online and just say, hey, guys, I want to go to the next level or I want to do X, Y, and Z. Does anybody know somewhere? That's what I did when I first got started. Like I started asking people that were a step above me or whatever. I'd be like, hey, I need help with this, this, and this. Do you know a coach or do you know a group or do you know a programmer or something that I could go be a part of? And you will get tons of feedback there. Like everybody's got something they want to share, right?
Right.
Like I had a guy that grew up with my wife. I guess he's been following me on social media. He just messaged me the other day and he's like, hey dude, I love everything you're doing. What you stand for. He's like, I think we'd really vibe with stuff. He's like, I'm a part of this group. It's open right now. I think you would really like it. And I was like, dude, like that's super cool. Like I appreciate, and I didn't even ask for that. Mm-hmm. But I think if you just get on and ask, there's a lot of people that are actually following you and in your network that have what you're looking for. They can solve your problem in seconds.
Totally. Because they're like all the entrepreneurs and business owners out there, they're going to respect the hustle.
Oh man.
They're going to see that and they're going to want to help you because they used to be there.
Yeah.
So they're going to say, hey, come to this BNI or come to this lunch and meet other people you can help.
Yeah.
Something that I recommend to people is if you're so for example, I was doing window cleaning.
Yeah.
So I was doing window cleaning. I'm around homes all the time. People that are selling homes, people that need landscaping done, people that need pressure washing done. So I think you need to find whatever industry you're in and then go make some good friends that do something similar where you can share business.
Yeah.
Because if they're the pressure washer out there and he notices that the windows are dirty, you can say, hey, go call Skylar. Or vice versa. I see that someone needs weeding done, someone needs mowing done. I can say, hey, I got a friend that does that. He's great to work with. He's affordable. Go talk to him. So I think there's like kind of a close circle network that is also important to create.
Think of this idea. Okay. Window cleaning is a great example. What if you picked an area where you do the most business and you searched through social media, all the real estate agents in that area, and you created a flyer, say, hey, I want to work with, if I ever come across some opportunity for you to sell a house or get a new client or something, I want to be able to refer them to you. But every time you sell a house, because every real estate agent gives them a packet, right? A packet of information about the area. So what if you said, hey, can I create a flyer and it's going to have $100 off for pressure washing, window cleaning, whatever. And every one of your clients that you sell or you work with, you give them that flyer, you referred them, makes you look good, makes me look good. Boom. Like they get $100 off that service. Now you have how many real estate agents marketing your business for free, and heck, even mark up your service $100 so you're still making the same amount of money. Yeah. But they look at that like such an easy way to use your network around to grow your business and build relationships.
Yeah. So, and that's a great thing is like, because real estate agents, they need to sell more homes to make money and they want to help the client. They need to, they need to make money themselves.
Yeah.
And the more value they can give to their client, the better.
Huge.
And so they want to do that. Plus,
huge.
Like if someone shows up to the home and the landscaping's not good, the windows are dirty, the cement looks terrible, there can be all these different issues where if that was all fixed up, the home would probably sell for not just more, but faster.
Yeah. So now when the agent has a house like that, they're like, I'm going to call Skylar.
Exactly.
This dude's taking care of all my clients. I'm getting ready to show this house. I need this done real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
And then I call my landscaping buddy and then I call my pressure washing buddy. And so that's the power of networking.
Yeah.
And like another example, we could say like I do podcasting for people.
Yeah.
But I just do the podcasting side. I'm not going to do the social media posting for people. I'm not going to, write I could write the content for people, but there's so many different components to podcast and like the marketing side of it and everything that I don't handle for people. So what I would go do is go talk to social media people who are social media managers, because they have the type of clients that are already paying for that type of service. And they want the exposure. They want to, blow up. So they're going to have my type of clients, and then my clients are going to be their ideal client too.
Oh, yeah.
So
and now the same client's getting incredible services because of what both of you do.
Right.
And now it's just this incredible referring, and it's infinite. You go build that See, this is the thing that I love about building a relationship is if I go build a relationship with somebody that referred me a piece of it, right? I got 3 pharmacies that refer me tons of business. Let's say I buy them lunch a couple times a year, right? Mm-hmm. My return on that time, because now every time somebody comes into their pharmacy and asks about Medicare, health insurance, prescription drug plans, whatever, oh, you need to talk with My Life Financial. My return is infinite, But on social media, you got to continue to pay to stay in front of people. So that's why I say you got to mix both of them together. Yeah. Just because of that relationship, you go social media agency and they start referring everything for your podcasting. Dude, that just, you get 10 clients a year from that. It's infinite return forever.
So networking is huge, and we can make millions off of just networking.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's business.
Yeah.
In my really opinion, that is business. Like nothing happens without a relationship. Yeah. Zero.
The more hands you shake, the more money.
100%.
You heard that before?
Oh man, I live by it. Yeah. That's why I'm here.
But it's true for a reason. And I think,
oh yeah,
I've even heard people like Bradley say, go to college, not necessarily for the education part of it, while that is a good thing, but go to it to shake hands and to build relationships with people that are, the upcoming entrepreneurs, the people that are, going to be out there building businesses.
Yeah.
And, that's going to turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars down the road.
Yep.
But it's like, got to build relationships and be good at building relationships.
Yep.
How do we build relationships with people so that way it lasts?
I would say the best place to start is to be seen. Like you need to go be a part of things. You need to go do things. This lady that I met with this week to start doing taking care of all their clients for Medicare and health insurance stuff, right? I didn't go in there with a pitch at all. Zero pitch. I went in there with the mindset of like, look, I want to share with them what I do and the problems my business solves, and see if there's a connection to where if that's a pain point for them, which I knew it was, right? I'm doing this long enough. I'm like, I know it's a pain point, but I'm going to go in there and let her come up with a pain point and tell me. So then I'm like, look, this is what I solve. Don't go in there expecting something in return. Like go in there and be like, look, I want to build a relationship. I want to be a friend. I want to be a connection for you guys. And like, how can we add value to each other's lives? When I meet people and they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'll just, hey, I sell health insurance or medical, like whatever the conversation turns into, right? I never was like, hey, what do you do for health insurance? How can I help you? Like, I don't want that to happen. Like, let's talk first. Let's bond. I met a guy a couple weeks ago, him and I went golfing, and I hardly talked about my business all the time. I was like, dude, I want a friend. I want a friend more than I want to do business, because friends turn into business. And so I was like, let's be friends. And at the end, he started asking me about my business. So then I was like, what do you do for health insurance? Just out of curiosity. And so he told me, and I'm like, dude, that's cool. There wasn't an opportunity to help him at that minute. But I was like, hey, if there's ever an opportunity or something changes, I'd love an opportunity to work with you. And now we're great friends. I'm a part of his group. We do things together. So there was no like initial transaction being focused on at the same time. Like be a friend, be real with people, and add value to each other's lives in that sense. That's what's worked the best for me.
Yeah. So going in and adding value, don't expect anything in return.
Yeah. Like when I went into that business, I had 0 things in my hand. I had my phone just because I was like, hey, if we need to schedule something or whatever. I didn't have business cards, I didn't have flyers, I didn't have my iPad. I didn't have, like, if she was like, sell me right now, I didn't have nothing. 0. And so when the conversation turned into something good and she's like, yeah, we want to work with you. I was like, hey, let me go out to my car. I'm going to get you a stack of business cards for you and your team, and then the transaction started happening. But when I initially walked in, I was just like, I'm looking to have a conversation, like I want to be present with her and not have an agenda right off the start. It was just like, look, this is what I do. Is there an opportunity to work together?
Yeah. And that's kind of what I did when I initially started this podcasting thing. Is first off, went on Facebook and said, hey, I'm looking to help 5-10 people for free. All I want is a raving review if you feel like I've earned it, and then just feedback on how I can do it. But I went in there just to help people.
You were looking for feedback, man.
Yeah, I was looking to get better.
Yeah.
But in return, I was given free value.
Yeah.
And I was leading with value and creating these friendships. So one guy, met up with him at Starbucks, just helped him as much as I could. And then I went to his office, helped him set up his studio. And I did all this without charging. He sent me 2, that wasn't even that long ago, but he's already sent me 2 people that are starting their podcasts that need help, that want to get better. And so just from that's 2 potential clients that I could work with.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, like that's infinite, like you were saying.
Infinite.
Like in a year down the road, he may have sent me 10 more.
Yeah.
In 10 years down the road, he may have sent me $100,000 worth of business just from helping that one guy.
Even if, let's say he referred those 2, okay? And let's say he never referred another one. Well, those 2, maybe out of one of those, they refer, and then they refer, and then they refer, and then they refer, and then they refer. So that's why I call it infinite, is because now the referrals are just going and going and going and going. So that's why there's so much value there. He referred to, but like, you have no clue what that's going to turn into.
Exactly.
It could turn into the craziest, wildest thing. It could turn into a couple. Like you don't know. But that's why it's so important to like you did it exactly in a positive way of adding value. Now value is being added back.
Exactly. Building a relationship or networking is kind of like planting a tree and watering it and growing it. It's just one, trunk at first, but then it branches out into more branches, and those branches are more branches. Eventually you have this huge tree 10 years down the road that's producing tens of thousands of leaves or dollars.
Apples. Well, whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do it.
And it's fun too. Like there's nothing better. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced it with those clients. There's nothing better than a referral. Because they come to you and be like, hey, you helped so-and-so and they loved it. Like, can I work with you? No, you're like, heck yeah. Like that's the best because there's already a trust. There's already a relationship. There's already like, hey, I see what you did and they talked about it. I want the same thing. There's no pitch. There's no sell. There's no nothing. You're just like, cool. Value.
Yeah. The trust is already there.
It's right there.
Because like if I am looking for insurance and I know nobody who does it or anything, I'm probably going to start at Google.
Yeah.
I'm going to start at Google, search up insurance and see where to get my health insurance.
Yep.
But I'm going to look at all these different companies and I'm not sure which one to go with because they're all going to say they're the best. They're all going to say blah, blah, blah. But if I go to, say, my best friend and say, hey, who do you use? And they're like, oh, I use my friend Jared Briggs. I'm going to immediately trust you because my friend trusts you.
Instant trust. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's like people call us like from referrals. Like we are a huge referral business now. And they'll call them like, hey, you helped so-and-so. They loved it. I want the same thing. You're like, cool.
Yeah.
That was easy. I didn't have to sell nothing, right? That's like so many people focus on sales. Like I got to read the next sales book. And yeah, you got to become good at sales and learn the tactics of it, but you get better at marketing yourself and building relationships. You'll make way more money than sales will ever make you. In my opinion, that's been my experience. Now, will it work for everybody? I don't know, maybe not, but it's worked great for me, right? Like I haven't read a sales book in long time.
Yeah. You don't have to be good at sales. A lot of people aren't good at sales.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm the best at sales,
but
I'm good at building relationships. And that can make you so much more money. So much more.
I've made way more money off relationships than any of the sales books I've ever read. Now the sales books got me started, right?
Yeah.
And they help me a lot in today's world when I go buy vehicles and stuff because I understand sales now. So I go buy something and I'm like, I get the tactic. I know how to reverse it now, so it's in my favor. So there's a lot of value in learning sales, but yeah, if you can mix good sales personality skills with good, networking and relationship building skills, you'll never want for money.
Yeah. Are there common mistakes you see people make when networking and trying, to build their network and build relationships?
Yeah, they're instantly asking, like if let's say you and I were at a networking event and you and I happened to sit by each other and we just started up a conversation. And if I instantly just started shoving my business down your throat, you're going to find a different seat. Next break, right? You're going to instantly find a different seat. So don't instantly just pitch. Build a relationship first. I heard something that if you are meeting or like you just met somebody and you talk about them the whole time, you don't even share a thing about yourself and you guys leave, they're going to be a raving fan. They're like, they were the nicest person. And everybody loves to talk about themselves, right? Like, I think my life's pretty cool. Like I like talking about my life. So if somebody come up to me and just start asking me questions stuff, I'd be like, dude, that guy was cool. Funny thing is he actually didn't say a dang thing, right? So if you just reverse that and when you meet somebody, ask them about what they do. Like I use that coming in here just as an example. You were the one that finally was like, okay, you're in the insurance industry, right? And I was like, oh yeah. So then you asked me about it. But at first I was asking you about your studio and like what you got going on and your other business. When I first got into business, I didn't do that. I would have walked in the door and be like, dude, I do insurance, but screwed up a lot of sales, right? So don't just instantly just start shoving it down their throat. Like ask about them, build a relationship, connect, find some common ground, interests, sports, and just create that relationship towards a friendship, I don't care if they're 60 years old. I don't care if they're 18 years old. Use the same tactic. It all works.
So start with building the friendship, talk about them, because that's everybody's favorite topic.
Yeah.
People could talk forever about themselves. You just have to be able to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
Yeah. Like, how much would you enjoy it if first time we met or whatever? And I was like, dude, tell me about your window cleaning business. Tell me, just start asking you questions about stuff and why you're doing it, about this podcast and studio. And I was asking you about your gear and stuff like it's fun to share that, right? Because that stuff's cool and important to you. So just do the same thing. Have fun with it. Have a lot of fun with it, you know?
Alex Hormozy said something once where it's you give so much value to people and like have so much interest in people that they like feel awkward from not giving back.
Now they feel like they owe you something.
Right. Yeah. And obviously they don't.
No.
But if you give so much that they feel awkward, they're going to want to.
Yeah.
Because you've given them so much value and have added so much value. And then that's another thing with networking. If you get a network together of people, see how many people you can give referrals to before you get a referral.
Exactly.
Like kind of make it a game, like you said.
Oh, totally.
You know, can you give away 10 before you get one? Because once you give away that 10, guess what? They're gonna feel like they owe you.
Yeah.
You know, and if you give one person 10 clients, they're gonna find you a client. They're probably gonna look for a client.
Oh yeah.
You.
They're gonna be subconsciously looking and they don't even know. There's value on every end. And I finally learned that. Like do more than you're paid for, do those things, because it's gonna turn into what you're truly desiring and looking for.
Yeah. And a lot of what we're talking about is building a reputation.
Yeah.
And because that's what's really important, because people are going to remember the reputation you have.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be shared, you know, because if you're known as someone that gives value, that gives, that's going to be, people are going to spread the word about you. They're going to talk about a giver way more than they're going to talk about someone who's a taker.
Yeah.
So if you're just known as a giver and you're given business, people are going to want to work with Jared, because if they work with Jared, they make money.
Can I share something that I've been thinking of?
Yeah.
You mentioned the whole top 5 people you hang around, right? I don't think people realize how important that really is. Like that'll change everything in your personal life, in your spiritual life, in your fitness life, in your financial life, in your business life, in every aspect of everything. It influences all aspects of everything in your life. The people you hang around, especially the top 5 people you hang around. You know, and that's one of the biggest aspects of like why you invited me. I'm like, he's got a podcast. He's a business owner. He's hustling. I want to know him. Like I want to get to know Skylar. You know, like that was the value there, just because I'm like, for me to get better, like who do I have to become? I need to become a person that hangs around people that are where I want to be or are going where I want to go. And the more I can surround myself with them, it's going to change not only what I'm doing, but it's going to change me consciously and subconsciously. You know, like I tell people all the time, like, do you remember brushing your teeth? And they're like, no. I'm like, exactly. You've been doing it for how long? You don't even think about it. It's a subconscious program going in the back of your mind. Grab the toothbrush, toothpaste on, brush my teeth. It's subconsciously. Well, when you get around people that are where you want to be or elevate you, lift you up, it will subconsciously change everything. And that is an aspect that I've started understanding where I'm very conscious now. Like I didn't go to one of my family reunions this summer because every time I go, it's so negative and everybody complains and whines about, can you believe fuel prices? Can you believe this? And the government sucks. And you know, and I'm like, I just don't want that crap, right? And so I didn't go. Do I love my family? I love them to death. Am I going to cut them out of my life completely? Heck no. If they called me and need something, I'd be there, right? But do I want to surround myself with that mindset, with that thought? No, because I take a step back. So if you're a business owner, if you're striving to be better, maybe you're working a job and you want to be a business owner, get in the room. Get in the room any flippin' way you can. Whether it's listening to their podcast, whether it's reading their books, you just took a micro step into the room. Do anything and everything you can to get in a room, to be around the people you want to become like. And that alone will change everything.
It absolutely will. I've noticed that like the more I hang around friends that aren't building anything, aren't in relationships, aren't trying to get better, the more I'm stagnant.
Your morale, like it's like sucked out of your body, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the more I do this podcast and bring the people on who are doing better than me, who have built bigger businesses, who are better at networking than me and all this, it makes me want to be a better person. It almost by default makes me a better person because I'm spending more time around these people with this type of mindset.
Yep.
It changes everything. And it's not just who are around, but it's what we're consuming too.
Listening to, reading, everything.
Yep. It's everything affects our mindset and who we are. And, you know, because the more we put in like the nonsense, the news, the video games, the movies, whatever, you know, whatever's happening, that's the only thing that's going to come out.
Yep.
But if you're constantly putting in positivity, hanging around good people that are building and going somewhere in life, guess what's going to come out? Through your actions, through your words, the building. That's will change so much.
Yeah.
So much comes from the people that we're around.
Oh man. My wife news is not allowed in our house.
Like that.
I will shove my fist through the TV before I see news, any type of news station. I don't care if, you know, like politic, local news. I don't want any of it because bad news sells. So no good news is being posted on the TV. There's none, So like, I don't want any of that stuff in my home. I've even literally been like, family come to our house or something. They're like, hey, let's turn on the news. And I'm like, go sit in your car and watch it on your phone. Like, we're not turning on the news. Like, that is how important it is. So that's why I want to share, like, that top 5 people you're hanging around, what you're listening to, what you're doing, the information you're consuming. We are subconsciously programmed. All of us are. I just spent more money on a coach than I've ever spent in my life, all learning about the conscious and subconscious mind. Just because I'm like, holy crap, I am self-sabotaging everything. And it's all of this information coming up, stories from my childhood, things that were said. It's the most important thing you can invest your time, money, and attention into it. I mean, you've told me right when I walked in here, how much time and money have you invested into learning podcasts? A lot. Any area, and I'm speaking to you guys listening, any area that you want to get better in, surround yourself. Become obsessed with that and surround yourself and just flood your mind with what it is that you want to become. And it'll happen.
Exactly. Flood your mind. Get all the negativity out and get all the right people in. Your network is your net worth.
Yep.
Is there any last advice you want to give people on networking and how to do it effectively, efficiently, or things to look out for?
The first time you start networking and building, you might suck at it. You might trip over your words. You might get tongue tied. You might whatever. Don't stop. If I had all of the clients that I screwed up on, my business would be in a way better place than it is. But that was knowledge and information that I needed to gain. So don't be scared of messing up. Don't be scared of screwing it up, because there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's billions of people on this earth. You only need a handful of them to be successful. So, never be scared of looking a fool, messing up. It is what it is. Like, just go learn and develop it. There's a lot of knowledge and information out there, and start consuming it. Build that network, build that friendship, start surrounding yourself with those things, and it'll happen. So build the muscle and just go do it.
Just like anything, you're not going to be good in a day. You're not going to be good out of one rep after 10 reps.
Yeah.
It takes a long time.
If your whole marketing strategy right now has been website, social media and stuff like that, I would challenge you. Go print 1,000 business cards, or like a 4x4 card with the information on it. Go hand it to 1,000 people and watch your business explode. And I would be amazed if it didn't happen.
And I think it's like it's less than $50 to print like 500 business cards from Staples.
Oh man. I just cheap. Printed 1,000 very customized ones, and I paid, instead of me going and picking them up, I paid $20 for them to ship to me, and it was $120.
Yeah,
that's
and the ROI on that is going to be huge.
It's going to be wild, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Do you do business coaching?
Yeah, I do. I've got clients that I've worked with. Be 100% honest with you, my big dream, goal, and vision of my whole life is to build this agency to the point to where I work on the business, not in it as much. And my goal is to build a coaching business, just to teach what I've done, like where I've come from to where I am now. Like, I'm proud of it, right? Like, I'm grateful for what I've achieved, and people are out there searching for more. They want to accomplish their goals and their dreams. And so, yes, I do coach people, and my goal and my dream is to build up my podcast, build up my coaching, group, business, and then get to where I'm speaking on stage and writing books and, all those things. So that's my long-term vision. If people reach out to me, I love to help them. And I love to do this kind of stuff. So I do it, but the actual coaching business is coming.
Awesome. Love it. So if people want to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
I would say Instagram's a great place. It's at Real Jared Briggs. Man, even call my office. My office phone number is 435-557-3170. You can call or text that number.
Perfect. Well, Jared, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. My guest today was Jared Briggs. If you want to get in contact with him, he's on all social media platforms, but he's most active on Instagram at Real Jared Briggs. We'll have links to his website and other information down in the show notes. That wraps up another edition of Utah Hustlers. If this episode changed the way you look at networking and was valuable to you, click the share button and send it to one of your friends or business partners that could use this information to build their empire. As always, it's not just about having the right information, it's about taking the required action. Until next time, keep building. Hey, if you have a sec and would like a visual component to this episode, it would mean the world to me if you'd go on YouTube and subscribe to the Utah Hustlers channel. We have a goal to hit 100 subscribers by the end of next month, and that's something we can't do on our own. We will also be going live with these episodes, so if you want to ask your personal questions and have them answered by our guests every single week, go subscribe. Either way, I hope you all crush it this week. See you later.